How many people, this is your first time in shul, in synagogue in over a year? Raise your hand. If that's you, then please stand up. Please stand up if that's you. Come on. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodesho. Please put your hands above your head and let's go. Everybody on your feet. V'ishtachavu, 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 le'or kodesho. Shabbat!
You didn't want the rabbis to sing that part? I know, it's okay. Don't
unless
answer.
he's double masked.
Don't answer. I feel like you should keep standing while we say this, please. In just a moment, we'll be singing Yismechu, and what we learn from Jacob Ben Asher is that Yismechu, in the psalm, let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice, what he says, if you actually look at the psalm, it's an acrostic. It's Yud Hey Vav Hey when we speak about those ideas of the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice, which means when you think of God's name, what we're meant to think of is God's unbridled joy. And what it means is that when we choose at this very moment to bring joy into a sanctuary or joy into a room, it means God is present. Amen. So right now, I ask you, pray with us, sing with us, let joy in Yismechu, let God in. Let's have fun.
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלוא. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, Yamamai, my, my, Yamamai, my, my, Yamamai, my, 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 Yamamai, my, my, Yamamai, my, Yamamai, my, Yismechu hashamayim,
ישמחו השמיים,
v'tagel haaretz,
ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלואו.
You can please sit down. Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz,
ירם הים ומלואו.
Yamamai, my, Yamamai, my, Yamamai, my, Yamamai, my, Yamamai,
Every week, the rabbis receive emails to place loved ones' names on our list for our Misha Berach, the prayer for healing. Where did this prayer come from? The prayer for healing, the Misha Berach, was in fact originally a prayer to bless the congregation. Now, I learned something this week, and I'm telling the truth. There was a special Misha Berach in the 17th century to bless the congregation. I quote, "For those who did not talk during the service." It's true. There's a reason why we probably don't say that Misha Berach today. But the prayer for healing, the Misha Berach that we all know, the Misha Berach for Cholim, that was in fact instituted 500 years before us in the 12th century. And there's a debate of if we should say that Misha Berach on Shabbat. And of course, the debate's between Hillel and Shammai. Shammai says, no, you may not comfort mourners on Shabbat, and you may not say the prayer for healing on Shabbat. But Hillel says, Shammai, I'm sorry, but you're not right. You must do both of these because they each include an aspect of mitzvah. And Rabbi Meir explains that when you say the prayer for healing on Shabbat, you add 3 words, Shabbati milizok. That even though we do not ask for requests on Shabbat, it is the day of Shabbat that is capable itself of giving compassion. During these last 18 months, the Misha Berach has become an increased prayer. If you are at home or if you have watched us online, you see when we say the Misha Berach prayer, people from all around the world write in to add their loved ones' names to healing so we right here can say their names over the Torah. And so this Shabbat, let us do as Rabbi Meir says. Let Shabbat engender compassion, and let us join the Shabbat day to acknowledge hurt, to acknowledge pain, to acknowledge suffering, but also to publicly ask for each one of us to be in that process of healing. The Misha Berach prayer.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et hacholim.
מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
When I was a child in Camp Ramah, and everybody used to sing out loud the Birkat Hamazon together, there was always one line where people would go silent. The line is Nar hayiti v'gam zakanti v'lo ra'iti tzadik ne'ezov v'zaro mevakesh lachem. I've been young, and now I'm old, and I have never seen a righteous person hungry or his children begging for bread. Now remember, we were campers and we were young, and we wanted to advertise how moral we were. And so we didn't say it because we knew it wasn't true. There are, in fact, righteous people who go hungry, and so we thought it was wrong to sing that out loud. Some people would sing it softly. Some people, the most righteous among us, wouldn't sing it at all. But the truth is, even though as children it was much more about performing for the other campers than it was about dealing with the substance of the issue, it is an issue. Because that line about how I've never seen a righteous person go hungry or his children beg for bread, do you know when we say it? We say it in the Birkat Hamazon, in the prayer right after we eat. And you could see it as very self-satisfied. Look at me, I've just eaten, and I think everybody has enough food. But of course, when you grow up, you realize the Jewish tradition is many things, but one thing it is not is naive. There is no way that the rabbis and teachers and sages who repeated that line for thousands of years didn't know that there were righteous people who went without bread. Some of them were righteous people who went without bread themselves. So what does it mean? One of the ways of understanding it is simply that it is supposed to sensitize you to the fact that it is part of your task to make that true. It's a call, not a promise, like a lot of things in our tradition. It's a way we are supposed to conduct ourselves in the world. Look, after the pandemic especially, we know there were people who were hungry. And all of us, I'm sure without exception, although we worried about many things during the pandemic, we didn't worry about whether we would eat. We may have worried sometimes if we've had a napkin to wipe our faces after we ate, but we didn't worry if there would be food. And so there is a responsibility, and this is the first piece of this line, to take care of those who don't have enough food. Here I want to give kudos to my friend and co-conspirator this morning, Craig Taubman, who at Pico Union feeds hundreds and hundreds of people. And over Thanksgiving, I don't know how many people will get their Thanksgiving meal at Pico Union, which is a great mitzvah and a beautiful thing to do. And the second part of this, which is equally important, even though it's different, is that the line is true. Because bread means more than just food. And somebody who has spiritual nourishment and their children have it also has a kind of bread. There are different ways of thinking of food. The physical is urgent, absolutely. But to invoke bread again, remember what the Torah teaches, that we cannot live by bread alone. And there is something else that that line is telling us, and in fact, we see it in this morning's Parsha. What does Isaac do? Isaac redigs the wells of his father that the Philistines, out of malice, had stopped up. Which means that on the one hand, he makes sure that his family and people will have water, physical nourishment. And second, that there will be mayim chayim, living waters, which is what we call the Torah. So when we speak about bread, when we sing Romamu to arise, and of course, that's what bread does, we're also speaking about spirit. We're speaking about elevating ourselves and our souls. When we speak about feeding others, we're not only talking about giving them physical sustenance, but as a Jewish people, spreading spiritual sustenance. As you know, we have a society that is divided among many lines. But there are certain fundamental needs that all of us have. Food, faith, hope. Nar hayiti. I was young. I didn't know better. Gam zakanti. But now, I'm not so young. And the truth is, I have seen righteous people who have inside them great spiritual nourishment. And I have seen those nourished people over and over and over again feed those around them, both physically and spiritually. Because that's what it is to do God's work in this world.
I've been young, now I'm old. Of the righteous I've been told, they will never be forgotten, their seed in need of bread.
Nahiti v'gam zakanti, lo raiti tzadik nezar, v'zaro nivakesh lachem. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yay, da, 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 da. Yay, da, yay, da, 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 da. Yay, da, 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 da. Adonai, Le'amo Adonai Yivarech et amo v'shalom. Everybody with me? Yai, dai, 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 your part. Yai, dai, 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 yai, yai, yai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, 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 yai. Like a lullaby, please. It's very soft. Food is the bridge. 60% of our world goes to bed hungry. 40% of all produce grown in America gets thrown away. No child should go to bed hungry. No one should go to bed hungry. Yai, 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 yai. Try that with me. Yai, 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 yai. One more time. Yai, 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 yai. Die, 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 yai, die, 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 yai, 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 yai.
According to our rabbis, to be in God's presence is to want to do a mitzvah. So if you want to do a mitzvah, I have two choices for you. Not that you can't do both. One is on Thanksgiving, some of us from Sinai will be going to Pico Union to help distribute meals, and we invite you. And the second is, I want to announce this morning something that was sent to me last week, and I just thought it was extremely important, and I knew that this congregation would agree. Aleph Institute, which you may or may not know about, is an international Jewish nonprofit that was founded in 1981. It provides financial and emotional and spiritual support to thousands of incarcerated individuals, Jews and others of all backgrounds and faiths. Now it's overseeing cases in 30 countries and partnering with the International Association of Women Judges to get planes of refugees, of women out of Afghanistan. Prosecutors, female athletes, journalists, and others who are under threat from the fundamentalist regime. I think this is a beautiful thing that a Jewish organization is saving these women from, well, you know from what? From the people who would not only do them harm, but do us harm. So it's not hard to remember. It's jewishafghanmission.com if you want to help. This is really Hatzalat Nefashot. This is saving the lives of courageous people who don't want to live under a totalitarian regime. And I'm proud that Jews in Los Angeles are supporting this effort. They're the ones who first brought it to me. And of course, Aleph Institute, which also takes care of many, many, many Jewish prisoners, as well as others, are a part of this. And if you forget jewishafghanmission.com, just email me. I'll be happy after Shabbat to send you the information. It is a beautiful thing to do, and it is a wonderful mitzvah. And so, yes. You're welcome.
Can we transition into like just a Shabbos? Can you translate this?
I would like to transition into something upbeat.
Like Shabbos. How would
that
you translate
would work.
that?
3 Shabbases.
3 Shabbases.
All 3. I want all 3 Shabbases.
Shabbos cubed, in other words. Okay? And Zol Zayin Yidin Shabbos.
Yes.
Yes.
Do it.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Everybody get up. Everybody on your feet and rise and rise and rise. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's Shabbos, 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 Shabbos. Zol Zayin Yidin Shabbos. Shabbos Zol Zayin, Shabbos Zol Zayin. Shabbos the ganze Welt. Shabbos Zol Zayin, Shabbos Zol Zayin. Shabbos the ganze Welt.
Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shabbos, 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 Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shabbos, Shabbos, yeah, Shabbos, 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 Shabbos.
Okay, after I say this word challah, you all say challah back. Okay, here we go. Challah, 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 challah.
Challah,
Zol Zayin Yidin challah.
challah.
Challah Zol Zayin, challah Zol Zayin. Shabbos the ganze Welt. Shabbos Zol Zayin, Shabbos Zol Zayin. Shabbos the ganze Welt. Got one for us? Make it up. Chloe Pourmoradi, make it up.
Make it up, make it. Shabbos, 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 Shabbos.
Shabbos!
Shabbos, I love my Shabbos.
Shabbos!
אני אוהבת השבס.
Shabbos the ganze Welt. Shabbos the ganze Welt. Shabbos the ganze Welt. Shabbos the ganze
Shabbos. Shabbos. Shabbos.
Everybody.
In just a moment, we will pray Aleinu on page 205. But while we're standing, before we recite Aleinu, let's just show a little bit of our appreciation for the Feit family who provides us this spiritual nourishment throughout the year. So thank you to Brenda and Harold Feit for the beautiful Feit family Shabbat Live. You lift us higher. Aleinu, page 205.
שלא שם חלקנו בהם וגורלנו
עכשיו יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בקומי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו, אין עוד אמת מלכנו, אפס תבונתו, כאן כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבותיו אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We recall with affection those who no longer walk this earth, grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for their sweet companionship, and for their cherished memories which endure. May God comfort all who mourn. This week we recall the recent passing of Sandra Krinsky, sister of Jordan Richmond, the passing of Parveen Yazdan Pana Novembach, mother of Bijan, Javid, Gila, Janet, Shahram, Shariar, and Kevan, and grandmother of Sinai Temple member Talia Novembach, and the passing of Dr. Sofer Khalili, husband of Mahin, father of Jasmine Newman, Ramin Khalili, Suzanne Khalili, and Sandra Khalili. We recall those yahrzeits who will be observed during this coming week. Harry Aronson, Helen Applebaum, George Babcock, Ibrahim Banafsheha, Ami Bar Yadin, Abraham Barenfield, Sylvia Barenfeld, Ralph Bedrock, Parviz Eliyahu Baruchim, David Boran, Samuel Cohen, Seymour Cohen, Sophie Cohen, I.K. Cosgrove, Sarah Davis, Hushang Ibrahimi, Akajan El Ganayan, Parviz Joseph Eslamboli, Aliyahu Habib Family, Yuna Gabayan, June Goldstein Kerman, Lillian Gouze, Anna Gore, Marcia Grace, Alan Graham, Jack Groner, Alan Haim, Yosef Halaban, Fanny Harris, Elliot Hinkis, Eric Hershowitz, Beatrice Hoffman, Walter D. Janoff, Lester Joseph, David Kaufman, Minna Nobel Kawa, Emmanuel Kreisel, Rosalind Kreisel, Murray Lameshaw, Henry Levin, David Lipsky, Lynn Lipson, Herbert Mitchelson, Farouk More, Jacob Moss, Yuget Najar, Parvis Nasreen, George Nathanson, Maurice Osper, Eugene Osher, Rose Patton Becker, Ruth Perlmutter, Walter Peters, Rose Phillips, Sarah Polstein, Marion Porter, Ledush Rahimzadeh, Jack Rakow, Lawrence Rickles, Beatrice Rosenthal, Hilda Rothschild, H. Robin Schneier, Sarah Schwartz, Jack Segal, Sarah Selwyn, Faraj Senehi, David Shepard, Sarah Sherman, Louis Segal, Jacob Siegel, Charlotte Silverman, Roger Silverman, Mokhtaram Sina, Ines Sitruk, Isaac Sklut, Alvin Slavkin, Lou Slot, Estelle Stein, Garen Todd, Norman Tyre, Israel Vertlieb, David Waxler, Bill Weinberg, Joseph Whitman, Huri Yeshurun, Nazina Unai, Isaac Usian, Aaron Zimbler, Arthur Zukin. We ask those in mourning or observing a yahrzeit to please rise to sanctify God's name in the words of the mourner's Kaddish, page 207, page 207. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divarach, Yerute, Viamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, Uvizman, Kari, V'meru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Ulomei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'yimaru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. May God who brings peace unto heavens bring peace unto all those who mourn. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated.
I want to say that when I was listening to the mourners list, I had two moments. Earlier this week, I picked up a siddur that was signed by Lillian Guzet. She was the sisterhood president at my bar mitzvah in 1971. Wow. And then this week, Rabbi Sherman sent me my bar mitzvah thing from Sinai Speaks. And I think it's just such an amazing thing to recite the names of people, because there's always somebody who's touched. And as long as we keep on reciting their names, I mean, I hadn't heard of Lillian Guzet or thought of her for how long? And she was like right here. I could see the sisterhood president sitting right here with us. It's a beautiful memory.
And a beautiful way of continuing to invoke her memory. This morning, we are pleased to introduce Rob Strauss, our Assistant Secretary on our Executive Committee. Rob Strauss has been married to his wife, Lee, since 1993. They joined Sinai Temple in 1999 and have two sons, Aaron and David, both of whom attended Sinai Akiba Academy. Lee and Robert were both active with Sinai Akiba Academy well before he became involved with the Sinai Temple Board. Robert's been a board member since 2010. He has served as Vice President of Development and Finance. The two are deeply committed to our community, for which we are grateful for their dedication. Robert is a partner at Weinstock Mannion, a Century City law firm specializing in estate planning. I hope you'll help me welcome our Assistant Secretary of our Executive Committee, Robert Strauss. You can clap.
Thank you. I'm blushing a little bit. No applause is necessary at all. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning. Just a few announcements. That's all. Just a few announcements. I think the place to start is to welcome you all. We are really grateful that you're here, to thank our clergy for a beautiful, warm service, and to thank the people who are watching online, and to hope that you will come back to us soon. And we need to give a hearty mazel tov to Isabella Kahanasa. Mazel tov. Really wonderful. And congratulations to your family as well. All right. We have the 2021 Abner and Rosalind Goldstein Scholar in Residence Lecture Series commencing tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, November 7 at 10 a.m. Also, Tuesday, November 9th at noon, and Thursday, November 11th, also at noon. The theme is Liberté, Égalité, and Fraternité with Rabbi Delphine, help me with the pronunciation, Horvelure, rabbi and co-leader of the liberal Jewish movement of France and author of Anti-Semitism Revisited, How the Rabbis Made Sense of Hatred. On Sunday, so now getting into the three, on Sunday, November 7th at 10 a.m., Liberty. Do France and the United States have the same concept of freedom through the lens of the Bible? On Tuesday, November 9th at noon, Equality. Is the notion of equality compatible with the Jewish notion of chosenness? And then the third lecture, Thursday, November 11th at noon, Fraternity. How can the Bible relate to brotherhood when it starts with the tale of fratricide? The series will take place exclusively online at streaming.sinaitemple.org, the Sinai Temple Boxcast TV app, and on the Sinai Temple YouTube channel. It sounds really, really interesting, and we encourage all of you to log in. We also have the Ted and Hetty Orden and Family Friday Night Live on Friday, November 12th, starting at 7 p.m. It's open to the community. We encourage you to come. 8 p.m., we're having a Shabbat-themed Shabbat dinner for young professionals, and the cost is $28, and hopefully people will come. We have a program called Rabbi on the Sidelines on Thursday, November 18th at 10 a.m. Rabbi Sherman will interview Dan Grunfeld, author of By the Grace of the Game, son of the legendary Ernie Grunfeld and grandson of Holocaust survivors. You can watch live on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. We also have the Los Angeles premiere of AULCIE, I think it's pronounced ALCI, on Thursday, November 18th at 6:30 p.m. in Barad Hall, so you are welcome to attend. Sinai Temple is proud to present the Los Angeles premiere of this movie, the true story of Maccabi Tel Aviv's legendary basketball player. You don't want to miss this meaningful film, followed by a discussion with Rabbi Ari Sherman, Israeli Academy Award winner and director Danny Menken, and producer Sinai Akiba alum John Weinbach. So, thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Are we ending with first blessings? Okay. We're going to ask the congregation to rise and invite Isabella back up on the bima for our blessings for kiddush and hand washing and motzi.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri agafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
For those who have the practice of baking challah or making the dough for challah, you know that it doesn't rise immediately. Once you make the dough, it takes quite a bit of patience, a little bit of faith, and a lot of love to know that that dough will rise higher and higher and turn into something that will nourish us later that evening. So too, we have to remember with our spirit, with a little bit of patience, with a little bit of faith, and a lot of love, our souls can rise higher and higher.
This is it. This is the last chance we have. In honor of the bat mitzvah young woman, we're going to lift this higher. Everybody hands in the air like this. And we welcome Chloe Pourmoradi, singer, Daphna Benegay, Gitai Vishnuk, Justin Time, and Jeffrey Stern on the drums. Higher, higher, higher and higher. Higher, higher and higher. Higher, higher, higher and higher. Higher, higher and higher. Lord, lift me high, lift me high, lift me higher.
Lord, lift me high, lift me higher. Lord, lift me high.
No, you go, girl.
Lift me high, lift me high. Lord, lift me high, lift me higher.
Higher,
Higher, higher, higher. Let us dance.
Let us dance.
One more dance.
One more dance.
Lord, let us dance. Let us dance.
Lord, let us dance.
Let
Let
us
us sing. Let us dance. Lord, let us dance. Lift us higher.
Everybody, higher, higher, let's go.
Higher, higher, higher and higher. Higher, higher and higher. Higher,
Higher and higher.
higher,
Higher and
higher.
just the congregation. We're going to end with this. Isabella, that's what it feels like to have a bat mitzvah. That's what it feels like to be in a community. You excited?
Yes, of course.
How excited are you?
I'm so excited.
Hey, we love you. Ready, higher?
Higher!
Everybody sing. Higher, higher and higher. Lord, this is my prayer. This is my prayer for you on this day. May every day your energy lift us higher. Isabella, Isabella, you have lifted us higher. Our prayer is that you remember how much higher. Like a prayer now. Shh. Higher, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.